Welcome to episode 131 of the Muck Podcast, a member of the Odd Pods Media Network. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Jaramillo.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
Hillary.
Oh, hi. Oh, we're very excited.
We're so excited.
I knew she was going to show. She's looking at me like, oh my God. So, you know how our camera always says on our YouTube channel?
Yes.
So,
because we know what we're doing.
Yeah, because we're professionals. There's a little, the reason why is because we have 120 minutes. And of course, we love to gab, honey. So, sometimes we run out of time.
Yes.
And the battery dies. So we went on YouTube to see how we could charge it and keep it in the case. That was always the thing.
Yes,
how do we keep it in the case and charge it?
on the stand.
And guess what? The little battery door comes off. So Tina's like, holy shit, game changer.
Thank you, YouTube. We learned so much from YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, what a fucking thrill this is.
You just put in your topic and there's someone on YouTube that knows how to do it. Yeah. It's wild.
I wonder if ever
why are we going to college?
I don't know.
I'm serious.
Yeah, if something has happened, it's already happened to somebody else.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's very rare that you're the first of asking a question.
Listen, I learned all of InDesign when I had to do like yearbook, and I kind of got thrown into doing yearbook, and I was like, I don't know how to do any of this, and I just went on YouTube every time, like, oh, how do I do a table of contents? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? And you know, that's
how it was with editing the podcast, having to learn how to do Reaper. God forbid somebody would help me.
Oh my
and
God.
when I ask a question, he's like, no, and I'm like, but so I had to go to YouTube to figure it out. But here we are. So good. Now, hopefully we'll never, well, let's never say never.
Yeah, no. We might end up using up all of the media now that we have
right.
You know.
Yeah, so then I said to her, well, how much space do we have, though, for real? So let's get through it because we have to record 2 episodes today because I've had the nerve of going on vacation. Oh, God forbid. Next week, I told my boss, I'm like, I want to take off these days next week. And he was like, so basically you're only going to be here Tuesday. And I was like, that's right. That's right. So that'll be a really fun day because every single time I want to take time off, I'm the only one in the office. So if I want to take time off, it's like, you better make sure all of these things are done. Like I have to make sure like all the shit is covered before I leave.
That's hard.
So that's going to be a fun day. But you know but I think it's also like when you're a senior in high school, like in the back of your head, you're like, I don't have to come in tomorrow. So it's like I'm going to have all this time.
Get it all done. Which
I'm so excited because guess what? I have a date when I get to Boston. Yes, honey. I am going to see our good friend Gabriella. We're going to have a drink together. And I was like, you can come to my hotel. Like I said, the kids and my mom will be fed and tucked into bed, and then we can have a drink. So,
my goodness.
I said we can have it at the hotel, or she's like, oh, there's a really cool place. Like, there's some places around the corner where all the state lawmakers hang out. I was like,
that's where you need to be.
I'm like, hey.
Potential little muckass. That's me. I'm gonna make
future Mrs. Kennedy. That's me. Hi. Meet my future senator husband.
Ooh.
From the great state of Massachusetts.
Ooh, and she loves it there.
Oh, she fucking loves it. Well, I'm sure I'm going to fall in love. That's what always happens. You know, you go there and you just fall in love with the city, and I'm really excited about it.
It sounds.
Plus, Dunkin' Donuts. You know that's from Massachusetts, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fucking love it.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the first thing I want to say really is that I said Jennifer Davis 3 times on our podcast last week when we're screaming about abortion.
Yes.
And our guest, Jennifer Driver, and I was mixing up Wes Davis.
Yes, we had
who was
Davis
another great
Driver,
guest with Jennifer Driver. So I please apologize. I was so fun, and I'm listening to it, and I kept saying it. And I was like, "You fucking idiot!" Like I'm editing, going, "God damn it!" Like what a fucking idiot.
Well, I didn't pick up on it either.
Well, we were in a rage. I mean, let's be honest. We were seeing
red. What a great
red.
episode that was, though.
Oh, I loved that episode.
Oh, and she put such a great tweet out.
Yes, she's amazing. So Jennifer Driver's Little Mug came out last Friday, July 1st, so please check it out.
Yes.
And on the 15th, we have our Lauren book, Little Mug. And we didn't talk about it, but maybe we should talk about it in the next episode, but some of the things that she invited us to do.
Yes.
Which were incredible.
We'll do that next
Let's talk about the next one, because that'll come out a couple days before that interview.
Yes.
I did want to mention very briefly is the Insurrection Committee has been fucking killing it. The January 6th hearings is fucking incredible. It's like my new love language is let's talk about the January 6th hearings.
Although I have to tell you, one thing I'm a little annoyed with.
Oh God, here we go.
is the young, witness to all of the craziness.
Yeah, she's a Republican. Is that what we're upset about?
I'm not upset that she's a Republican, but she was, her family has to be involved. She's just so young.
Yeah.
Wasn't she working for like Ted Cruz?
Oh, right, yes.
And then Trump. And everyone's like, American hero. And it's like, no, her back was probably up against the wall. And she's, was working alongside these people. And yeah, great. I'm happy that she came out. But can we not lift her so far up on a fucking pedestal? Like, I don't like it.
So here's what I think.
It bothers me.
I was thinking this too about the guy, oh God, I'm going to totally forget his name. Oh. I'm going to look it up. He's the guy who was doing the questioning, not this hearing with Cassidy Hutchinson, but the other one right before it.
The Republican
Zinger, Representative.
Oh, it's escaping me.
Zinger. Oh my God, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not looking it up. Who cares? I was thinking the same thing. He's Republican. He's like, obviously he was in the military. Like, he's super like pro America, but he's also like pro truth and justice, which is fucking awesome.
Which is great.
So I think so here's what I think. Here's what I've had to do. Because I American hero, I would say yes. Because here's the thing. We have so few of them now.
Yes.
Okay? We don't have real superheroes. And I'm not saying she's a superhero. And whatever her view or his views are of abortion and gay marriage or whatever, like wherever they fall on those social issues, we do kind of have to put them aside for a second, because when it came to telling the truth and holding Trump accountable, where so few have the courage to actually do that, they're doing it, and they're risking a lot. She probably took off, right? Like, do you think she went to Europe and was like, bye, like after that hearing? I told my mom, I said, I was on the first plane to fucking out of here.
They probably have her hiding out somewhere and protected.
Like for years, she's going to have to live like that. And I mean, think about the hearing with the women who worked in the Georgia.
Oh my God!
They can't. The woman couldn't go home for 2 months after January 6th because she wasn't safe. Like, there's something to be said about what they're doing. Yeah. And so I agree with you. Like, I wanted to highlight the great things he was doing as president. I was like, honey, like that made me take a pause. I was what's that? But in the end.
Right.
She did not bow to pressure from people. And apparently it was Mark Meadows was the one who was telling her.
And frankly, like, he needs to be in jail.
Yeah. I think they're getting closer. I don't
know. Because even those Secret Service dudes are like pro-Trumpy. And the thing that was most frightening that came out was when Pence did not want to get in the car with them. Yeah. Because, like, the Secret Service should not be political. Yeah. And Pence be, mother and all the things that we say about him. Yeah. But for the fact that he was afraid to get in that car because he wasn't sure where they were going to drive him. Yeah. Is frightening. Yeah. That is not the role. That is not the role of the Secret Service.
Oh wait, you mean on January 6th?
Yeah.
Like when they wanted to leave the Capitol?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was because he didn't want to leave because he wanted to fulfill the duties he had that day per the Constitution.
But also, he didn't want to get in the car with Trump's Secret Service people.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That he did not feel safe with them.
I mean, I wouldn't either.
That's like lunacy.
It is. Oh, the things coming out are insane.
And the ketchup on the walls.
I mean, it's everything. Plates. None of that surprises me though. Like none of that surprises me. It doesn't
surprise me either. But like, this is who's sitting in.
Yeah, but you know what, Tina? Like, let's be honest.
I wish I could talk to any of the people that worked, like staff.
Yeah.
Not political staff. Like like
the valet who's like, he's really mad, don't go near him.
Yeah, like
Jesus
the people working in the kitchen, the people who have to clean the stupid that people have to go and wipe ketchup off the wall. For this man.
It doesn't surprise me. I'm sure that's been happening at Mar-a-Lago forever.
Oh, God.
He probably threw dishes as a teenager. That's what, and like the greatest thing was like he's pulling the tablecloth off and so everything's falling to the floor. Like, Jesus Christ,
it's lunacy.
But I was saying to my mom though, like, we've covered shit in the White House. This is like it's fucking wild. It's wild, but it's not the most wild. Like,
it's not the most
been some
wild,
crazy fucking presidents, dude.
But still,
yeah.
This is like a violent, entitled
temper.
I always call him petulant, but he's a petulant baby.
He is. And I'm enjoying every second of it. I gotta tell you, I'm hanging on every fucking word.
And I wanted to also bring up that tweet that came out from one of those New York socialites about Ivanka.
Oh.
And how they took her allegedly to get an abortion. So, it was okay for Trump's daughter, right?
Oh my God.
And what are all the Trump people going to say? And she did get an abortion. She should have. She was a young kid.
Yeah.
Right? But I wonder what, the army of Trump think about it.
Fucking.
All right, it's your time to go first.
Oh, is it?
Yes!
Okay, well, here is my story from the end of June.
Oh, that's right, because we switched things
we
up.
skipped it. So it's my last LGBTQ story.
Yay,
and
I forgot.
I covered in episode 21 Bird Bath, which is one of my favorite episodes. Just listen to the beginning of Bird Bath.
Bird Bath.
It's very funny. I covered Kim Davis, who's a county clerk.
Oh, God.
Who refused to issue same-sex marriages licenses in Kentucky. And she, became this,
this hero of the right way.
Yeah. So I was reading a bunch of LGBTQ stories, and I found the very first clerk
No!
who gave the very first gay marriage license in the United States. And I thought, I'm going to fucking cover this motherfucker. I'm going to lift up this woman who's incredible. It's former Boulder County, Colorado clerk, Clela Rorex.
Oh, good. This is a good story.
It's a great story, yeah. This is why I wanted to end June on a good note, but then Roe v. Wade got overturned.
Yeah. My story.
And then I was like,
my story's
June.
Gonna change all of this too. But
oh my God.
It's okay.
Oh God, Tina. Okay. Clela Rorex was born in Denver on July 23rd, 1943, and was raised in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. She was adopted at an early age by Ruby and Cecil, I love that name, Rorex, who was the county clerk for Routt County in Colorado for 30 years. So her dad was also a county clerk. Rorex attended the University of Colorado on a Methodist scholarship and earned a bachelor's degree. She later earned a second degree in legal administration from the University of Denver. She then married a naval officer and spent 3 years with him while he was stationed at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, before returning to Boulder. After working a few summers in her father's office, Rorex decided to run for county clerk of Boulder County, Colorado, when the incumbent, Henry Putnam, announced his retirement.
Okay.
She decided to run after attending a meeting in which members of the Democratic Party stated that they, quote, needed a man, end quote, to run against the female Republican candidate.
Oh.
Rorex
good for her.
Yeah, she shared her frustrations over hearing this with women in a feminist group she was a member of, and decided that she would run for clerk.
Yes.
She was elected and took office in 1975 at the age of 31.
Oh.
Incredible. Cute too, she's so cute with this little cute short haircut. She's adorable. Henry Putnam would not vacate the office and was removed by the sheriff's office.
No,
because a woman was elected to the office.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, incredible. So before she issues this license, Boulder was kind of known as it was getting to be known as this liberal kind of county, and so some of the same-sex efforts that happened before 1975 when she issued it. So in December 1973, the Boulder City Council quietly passed the Human Rights Ordinance, which included protections based on sexual orientation. It was the calm before the storm, right? They passed this quietly, and then all of a sudden everybody finds out because nobody pays attention to what local government's doing, right?
And
then everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? So at the request of the LGBTQ community, Councilman Penfield Tate II had proposed including sexual orientation in addition to protections based on gender and race. A humanitarian at heart, Tate proved to be an important ally to the struggle for gay rights in Boulder. But in 1973, homosexuality was still listed as a mental disorder by the American Psychiatric Association, and Tate would pay a steep price for his stance, and a divisive controversy would soon set back progress in Boulder. In January 1974, Tate was selected as mayor of Boulder by his fellow council members. He remains Boulder's first and only African-American mayor. In response to public uproar, however, the sexual orientation section was removed from the Human Rights Ordinance. At a public hearing, many angry residents reiterated their opposition to the, quote, sexual preference clause, as it came to be known. The hearing drew an overflowing crowd of hundreds to council chambers, so many that those who couldn't get in watched the proceedings on closed-circuit television in the municipal building lobby. One woman who spoke said that if the ordinance passed, Boulder would become, quote, a sex-deviant mecca, and would be renamed Lesbian Homoville.
Oh, I would move there. It sounds great.
I mean, that's a great band name.
Yeah.
Lesbian Homoville. Up next!
What is
Lesbian Homoville!
I mean, what is wrong with people?
Oh, please.
What is wrong with people?
Please.
And the thing is, like, this isn't that long ago. This isn't that long ago.
No. Council placed the section on a special election ballot on May 7th, 1974 to let voters decide. Mayor Tate received hate mail and death threats. The Daily Camera published letters to the editor that quoted the Bible and references to Sodom and Gomorrah. One woman wrote, this is the same thing that happens today. Like, it's the same recycled fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
One woman, the Bible, shove it up your ass!
Yes!
Shove the Bible so far up your ass, just shitting out verses.
It was written by men.
Who wanted to control us.
Men.
Who were scared of their own fucking dicks, you know?
Men.
An erection, what am I going to do with myself? They don't know what to do.
They want power.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
Like, stop using that to control people.
Yeah. One woman
Believe what you want.
Yeah, but leave us alone. Leave us alone. One woman wrote that she would like to hand the homosexuals a one-way ticket out of Boulder. The town was foaming, wrote the Colorado Daily newspaper. Boulder voters soundly defeated the sexual preference section, and they attacked again with a recall petition for those council members who were in favor of protecting gay rights. Yes. And one of the posters about Mayor Tate, remember he's black. Yeah. It said "Sink the African Queen." Yep.
People are so horrible.
Yeah. A technicality protected Correll, Roberts, and Paget, who were fellow council members, from the recall effort, and Tate narrowly escaped it. Nevertheless, Boulder was gaining this reputation, right, to be this liberal place.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like it still is.
Yeah. So, Rorex, right? So, she had been clerk for 3 months when two men, Dave McCord and Dave Zamora, came to the clerk's office to apply for a marriage license.
Oh.
They had originally applied in Colorado Springs, where they were told to go to Boulder. El Paso County did not do that type of thing, end quote. Colorado Springs apparently was a very conservative area. So they're sending them, they're like, you know, Boulder likes gays. Go over there. Go over there and see what they say. After Rorex inquired about the legality of issuing the license, District Attorney Alex Hunter and First Assistant DA Bill Wise wrote an opinion stating that Colorado law did not specify whether marriage must be between a man and a woman. So Rorex was told it was within her legal right to decide if she wanted to issue the license or not. Rorex issued the license on March 26, 1975. She issued 5 more same-sex marriage licenses in Boulder before the Colorado Attorney General ordered her to stop. She received hate mail and angry phone calls. The Boulder County Courthouse was added to the National Register of Historic Places in part because of the marriage licenses that she issued. And they, you know, it was one of these cases where they would use that to fight for marriage. You know what I mean? They would use that to.
Oh, good for her.
Love it.
Good for her.
Yeah. In June 2018, Boulder replaced an image of Roswell Ross Howard and his horse Dolly with a photo of Rorex, which I'll talk about him in a minute. Because after Rorex issued the same-sex marriage licenses, Howard showed up at the courthouse with his horse Dolly and asked for a license to marry his horse. Okay? And Rorex said she declined his request on the basis that his 8-year-old horse was underage and could not marry without written consent from her parents.
I love this woman.
Oh, God, there's a great I'm going to tell you about this podcast she was on, too, which was so great. So later on in life...
We should get her on our podcast.
Oh, she passed away a couple months ago. I know, it's a bummer. Rorex resigned from office about 2.5 years into her term. She married and moved to California, and she never held office again. She returned to Colorado after her marriage and obtained a degree in legal administration, like I mentioned, from the University of Denver. She worked as a legal administrator for the Native American Rights Fund in Boulder for 18 years. After retiring around 2011, she spoke at public schools on panels composed of people of different gender identities. She considered herself, quote, an ally for gay rights and marriage equality, end quote.
Oh my God.
Rorex was married and divorced 3 times and had 3 children. She died on June 19th, 2022. I know.
Oh,
just
she just
weeks
passed away.
At the age of 78 at a hospice care facility in Colorado from complications of an infection following surgery. So I, looking up at different articles about her, I found this podcast that she was on in May. So so she was just before she passed away, and she's got that old voice, right? But she's so fucking good, and she's recounting these stories, and she talks about the horse to the guy over there, and she's like, I didn't know what to do, so I just started filling out the application, and she's like, and how old? And as soon as he said 8, he's like, she's like, oh, can't do it. Fuck you.
Oh
But
my
the
God.
podcast is called Amber Live, and it's just really great. And I just loved it. And she sounded amazing. And it's just like it's such a simple thing to be like, sure, I'll give it. You know, she checked first and then was able to give it. And I think that's amazing to like just this little tiny thing to take a stand.
Yeah, but that's one person that got the ball rolling for this, you know?
Love it.
Oh my God, what a good story.
Yeah, that's it. It's very short and sweet because my other stories had been so long. I was like, I'm going to keep it short this week.
Yeah.
And then
well, mine is a little long and my next story is a little short, so.
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh no. God damn it, Tina.
I'm sorry.
I can tell already.
I need to do this because, and I know we already covered abortion, but I wanted to talk about sort of the violent side of people who are anti-abortion.
Okay.
So today I'm going to tell you the story of the Christian anti-abortion terrorist group, the Army of God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, this is a domestic terrorist group. It's on all of the lists, and this is really what the federal government, they should be doing more to fight and crack down on these organizations, because this group is something else. All right, so the Army of God is an underground American anti-abortion group, but after claiming involvement in several anti-abortion acts of violence, they are now listed as a domestic terrorist group. So they have that label. And our story takes place really across the country, beginning in the 1970s, of course, with Roe. And the irony of these sort of pro-life radical groups who kill people in the name of God, it still shocks me, right? Like, they are screaming about dead babies who aren't even babies yet, they haven't even been born. But they will uplift people who murder anyone who wants to have an abortion or doctors who perform abortions. Like, it doesn't make any sense in my mind that you can call yourself the Army of God, right?
I think they think that if they kill this one person, they're saving thousands of other lives. Like, with they can't perform abortions if they're dead.
But like the whole thing of like that you are this army of God, like that God somehow like why are you chosen to do like the whole thing to me is just. It just is weird to me.
And quite frankly, you're not that fucking special. Like,
right.
I mean, could you imagine the audacity of being like, God chose you? Like, that's never a fucking thing. It's
and like, we're going to have this, and I mean, but people have fought in the name of God forever. Yeah. Right? It's to get land, to get property, to get
It's the easiest thing to say, really. It's the easiest thing to say. Well, God came to me and told me I could do it. So,
yeah, I mean, use this, they use this to justify their own beliefs, and they, claim to be Christian, and there's nothing Christian about them, right? Maybe they're Old Testament God versus New Testament God, because New Testament God is all about like forgiveness and all of that.
I wonder why that happened.
Right?
I wonder why we shifted from the violence of Old Testament.
And religion is just, it's like we just said, it's steeped in blood, it's steeped in oppression. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Me too.
Tax the church. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. What is this?
So before I delve into like some of the horrible, violent terrorist acts of the group, I want to just give you like a little background of like how they got started and like their ideology and all of that. So the Army of God. I found this old webpage from the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism from the Center of Excellence of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security that is based at the University of Maryland, and that's where I got like a lot of the background on this group. So according to that site, the Army of God was formed in 1982, so just about 9 years after Roe, and it's this underground network that promoted the use of violence to fight against abortion, and they even have a manual that like you can get for its members, and an excerpt from the manual noted that the Army of God was, quote, a real army, and God is the general and commander-in-chief.
Ooh.
The soldiers, however, do not usually communicate with one another. Very few have ever even met each other, and when they do, each is usually unaware of the other soldier's status. That is why the feds will never stop this army. Never. And we have not yet even begun to fight.
Wow. Smart, though.
Right? It's like,
but also,
no...
all I can imagine is is God with like one of those army like hard hats on and
Yeah,
like the bullets so like Rambo.
It's like what they do with Trump, right? Where they like Trump suddenly has like the Arnold Schwarzenegger
they
like
Photoshop
biceps.
his head on top of a fucking Rambo.
It's so stupid. Meanwhile, he's like a frail little man throwing dishes on the floor.
And also, it's the opposite of how I was raised in the church, like Catholic church. Like it's just not the God that I was fucking told about and taught about. Like it was.
Yeah.
He was a loving and peaceful God. Like I don't. This doesn't make any sense to me.
It's
like where do you get this? Where do you twist this? Like it's that great fucking meme where God's going, hey guys, that's not what I meant by that. Like
yeah,
you know, like
what I meant.
Thanks for misinterpreting every fucking thing I've said. Like that's not.
Well, that's the thing with language, right? They just they want to interpret it how they want it. It's ridiculous.
I'm not going to tell you where I heard this, but I'm going to say it and you're going to know. And I don't know if it's true or not because maybe I should look it up instead of quoting a fucking television show. But I was just watching this episode of a show and it said that if you add up all the times that God spoke, it was only 2 hours. And I was like, is that right? You know who that's from.
Yeah.
It's from The Sopranos. But do you think that's true? If you add up in the Bible,
like all the quotes of Jesus or something.
It's only 2 hours?
It's something like that.
That's insane! Think about how fucking wild that is. How the influence of it's mostly the other guys, right? Like, it's mostly the apostles that were like...
Well, and like with all the different versions of the Bible and what they put in and what they took out and like the Mary Magdalene stuff, like it's all been twisted and rewritten and... So...
To fit whatever narrative they like.
It's a story.
Yeah. All right, sorry.
But the manual isn't just about what the Army of God is. It's, as the name suggests, it's a manual on how to enact abortion clinic violence. And things like methods for blockading entrances, attacking with acid, arson, bomb making, other illegal activities. And I'm sure there's a verse in the Bible about this, right? Like,
acid?
Throwing acid at people.
Sure.
I'm sure that's where they got their inspiration from.
Yeah.
But the Southern Poverty Law Center wrote about the Army of God and their formation as well, and they cited the Army of God's view of the U.S. government from the manual, and it calls the United States, quote, a nation ruled by a godless civil authority that is dominated by humanism, moral nihilism, and New Age perversion of the high standards upon which a godly society must be founded if it is to endure. Can you
sounds fun
imagine this? Like that it's and this is what we're seeing now, right? This push to bring religion into everything because they really believe that somehow this nation is founded on that and that it needs to be run in their religious point of view. It's crazy. Like I don't want anything to do with any of these people and these beliefs. So this group basically believes it's better than everyone else. Like I don't get it. So early on, one of the leaders, Michael Bray, who I'll get into a little later, he had a banquet, and it was the White Rose Banquet that honored those jailed for anti-abortion violence. So like they would have this like banquet every year, celebrating and honoring those who sort of fought the good fight and might have been in jail or whatever else happened to them.
White Rose.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know, but like it's like some kind of innocent.
I just pictured like really like children or something. Like, I don't know. It's just such a fucking weird.
It's weird.
White Rose.
Oh my god. All right, so this story, of course, is full of all different major incidents, so it's not like my normal way of telling a story. So I'm going to kind of just go into some of the alleged members in this organization, what they did. And the thing is, this is the other thing. The Army of God also claims some of the things I'm going to tell you about, but really no one thing is tied directly to them. It's like somebody will do something and they'll be like, oh yeah, that was one of our Army of God people. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
So they
don't know each other, so
they want to like try to claim responsibility, or like one of them might say like, I'm a member of the Army of God. God. So like there's no way, because it's such this fractured group and you don't know who's who. Yeah. So there are some of like
the first rule of Army of God is you don't talk about
you don't talk about Army of God.
Jesus.
So it's basically all of the folks that I'm going to mention today have some tie to the organization one way or another, either from Army of God saying, yeah, that's one of our people, or from them being like, yeah, I'm connected, but who the hell knows? They're all nut jobs. So I don't do every single person associated with this group because it's too many. It's too many.
Oh God. I wonder if I've ever been elected.
No.
Okay.
But a lot of them are ministers. A lot of them are reverends.
God damn it. Well, where's Nick from the fucking Kardashians? Yes. Nick, get these fucking people together.
Yes.
He's a sweetheart.
Yes.
My God.
So let's start with an early leader. We have Don Benny Anderson. And so sort of the major incident for Don, he was allegedly, so I'm going to say this for everybody, he was allegedly involved with the kidnapping of Dr. Hector Zavalos and his wife Rosalie Jean.
Oh, fuck.
So Dr. Zavalos ran the Hope Clinic for Women, which he opened in 1974 and offered safe abortions. And according to the New York Times, on August 13th, 1982, they were reported missing when the doctor didn't show up to work at the clinic.
God damn it.
And 3 days after the kidnapping, the FBI got calls from the doctor saying they were being held hostage by an anti-abortion extremist group who later it's found out to be the Army of God, who take responsibility. And the feds were directed to a location where there was a letter and a cassette tape, with a bunch of like rambling rants about religion and government.
Oh my God.
The letter stated that that people, quote, are evil. Man's institutions have become instruments of evil and are working to deprive men of life, liberty, and property in defiance of God's will. These people, thankfully to the wife, Jean, end up getting released because the wife promises them that
they won't do any
more abortions.
But this thing about God's will,
I know. It's like, how do you know what God's will is?
Yeah, that's, and like we talked about on the abortion episode last week, that's the whole thing about the babies. It's not about anything else except stopping God's will. God's will is to have as many children on this planet as possible. And believe me, I know, because I heard it for 14 fucking years of my life, that we need to have more children because that's God's will. Like, that is very difficult to have to, if that's what someone believes and you're not delivering, it's a recipe for disaster.
And the thing is, like, now it's, first it was like, no abortion after this many weeks. Now it's the moment of conception. So you can't take a plan B. They don't even want you to take contraception, right? Yep. Because that's blocking. But you ask the same people about vasectomies, right? And it's a different story. And a vasectomy should not be used.
Did you see that woman who stood up in front of a fucking press conference? She's a lawmaker, I think in Wyoming or Missouri or something, and said, I don't trust women.
Yeah.
I don't trust women because they allow men to just ejaculate inside of them.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We allow men to ejaculate inside of us. As if the man's got a gun to his fucking head, right?
It is.
The fucking burden you're placing on... Are we going to do this again? The fucking burden you're placing on women is incredible.
It's
you
wild.
Fucking motherfuckers.
It's wild.
Ejaculate. That word is just fucking disgusting.
It is.
I mean...
It's all...
What is wrong with... What in the fuck?
It's crazy. So this guy ends up getting arrested for kidnapping, and then later he's charged for his role in bombing clinics in Florida and Virginia in 1982.
Wow.
And Daily Kos reported that he served 24 years for the kidnapping and was released in 2007. And I believe that also is tied in with like the bombing stuff. UPI reported that Dr. Zavello stated, quote, I would like to see the kidnapping charges because it was the most violent, the most severe form of violent act they committed against us. And really, the other thing that was really sad that I read that UPI reported as well is that his wife, Mrs. Zavalos, she was so traumatized by what happened that she refused to live in her house anymore. Yeah. And she left the area. Like, she couldn't go back.
I don't fucking blame her.
Like...
No way.
And for what?
Terrorizing
people. So then there's Michael Bray, who I mentioned did the White Rose ceremony or whatever. So he's another member of the...
White Rose.
So weird. It's like The Bachelor. Weird. I don't know. And here's the rose for you. And here's a rose for you.
I didn't think The Bachelor could get any worse, but it just fucking did. It just fucking did.
So it's funny. Yeah. I've never ever seen that show. I
think I watched a few episodes of the first season, but I can't get into watching women tripping over themselves over a douchebag. Like a fucking complete douche who's fucking everybody at the end. Like he's basically so going from fucking everybody.
It's so
and they're like, we had the most magical night together. He also had a magical night nutting in this other woman. He ejaculated inside of the other woman too. But here's your white rose.
Here's your white rose.
I don't now. You know what? I think I might agree with that woman. I don't think I trust women on The Bachelor with the ejaculation either. Maybe that's a problem.
Oh my God! Please, women can do whatever they want.
What are you doing on the fucking Bachelor?
So this guy.
I'm sorry, I can't. This show is so fucking hilarious. I mean, people are watching and laughing, right? People aren't really watching rooting for love. They're really watching to see these women lose their fucking minds. They come out of limo, they're like, oh my God, he's my dream man, just from like one look at this person. And then they talk to him for 2 minutes and they're like, I really think we have a connection. I really think I could marry him. They talked for 2 fucking minutes.
But what do they talk about? Like, is it because, like, does
Stupid
he have
shit.
money? Like, what is the thing?
Who
what is the draw?
knows? I don't know. It is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, that can't be true, but still.
Yeah.
It's insanity. It's insanity.
Cancel it. Whatever channel it's on.
Oh, God.
All right, so Michael Bray. He's another member of the Army of God, and when he gets busted for his attack, that's when they claim responsibility for that prior kidnapping before.
Okay.
So, like, because all this is kind of happening around the same time. So, Bray, like other members of the Army of God, was a minister. And specifically, he was a Lutheran minister. So this alleged man of God, right, along with 2 others, was charged in connection with bombing 8 abortion clinics across multiple states. And it was over 3 states, but multiple clinics within those states. It was Washington, Virginia, and Maryland. He ended up serving 46 months.
What?
46 months.
That's not nearly as long as he should be in there.
His wife told their children that he was in jail for, quote, saving babies.
Oh, well. I'm raising them to be little terrorists, too.
Can you imagine this?
Yeah. The government took my daddy.
Yeah. Rochelle Renee Shelley Shannon, she was charged...
Excuse me? What's that name again?
Rochelle Renee Shelley Shannon.
Jesus Maron.
Yes.
I fucking look at this name.
She was charged with the attempted murder of George Tiller in 1993. Oh. So remember, I covered the murder of George Tiller. Yep. Now, Scott Roeder killed him in 2009, but he had a prior attempt on his life by this woman in 1993. She shot him in like both of his arms. So she didn't kill him. She was sentenced to 11 years for that. She considered herself a prisoner of Christ. Good old Shelley, prisoner of Christ.
My God, I mean, you can commit any crime, and in your head, you're already forgiven.
You're forgiven.
Like, it's insane. The Catholic Church is so fucked too. Like, you go and confess, and you're absolved of your sins.
Go do a few Hail Marys and a glory
and then walk off, you motherfucker. That's what happens. He's a minister. He's gonna forgive him fucking self.
Yes, it's so stupid. She was also charged. Yeah, she was also charged with 10 counts of arson and acid attacks at 9 abortion clinics in Oregon, California, Nevada, and Idaho during 1992 and 93, and she served 20 years for those crimes.
She should be on fucking house arrest. Like, that's should not be allowed to leave the fucking house.
Whew. Paul Jennings Hill in 1994, he murdered an abortion clinic doctor, John Britton, and Britton's bodyguard, a former Air Force Lieutenant Colonel James Barrett in Pensacola, Florida. He was found guilty later that year. He died by lethal injection in 2003 because Florida still has the death penalty. James Charles Kopp. This guy murdered an abortion doctor in 1998. The doctor was Barnett Slepian. And when, basically what happened was when this doctor returned home from synagogue, this is horrible, he's chatting with his family in the kitchen, and he was, like, sniped him. Like, he just shot him, like,
my God,
through the window.
In front of his family.
Holy shit. Kopp went on the run. He was on the FBI's list, the most wanted list, because that happened in 1998. He wasn't caught until 2001. So he was like,
where are you running from? I thought you should be proud of what you've done. Yeah. Come out of the fucking shadows, motherfucker.
He was sentenced to 25 years to life for second-degree murder. And some of the aftermath for that I found that was really terrible is when that doctor was killed, several other abortion doctors in the area quit.
Of course.
You know, and
that's why we have a shortage of doctors.
We have a shortage of doctors. And I mean, I can understand why, right? Like, you're a young person, you want to start your life, like, you're really putting yourself at risk. And yes, we should all be putting ourselves at risk, and people should be working at these clinics, but I mean, you shouldn't have to die for wanting to help someone. It's ridiculous. I have a couple more. Eric Rudolph, he was the Atlantic City and gay bar bombings. He was connected with those that happened in 1996 and 1997. So he also did the Olympic bombing in Alabama in 1996. And that's how
Atlanta. In
Atlanta,
yeah,
I'm sorry. In 1996, because that's how they're all
that
connected. Because they saw that the way that the bomb exploded, it was these nail bombs.
Right.
And they put these huge nails in there, and then they burst out and they kill people. So when that bombing happened at the Olympics, these other abortion clinics that were bombed, it was like the same kind of bomb. So they're like, this is the same person, and it was this guy.
Oh my God.
It's just crazy. The bar was the Other Side Lounge. 5 people were wounded, and 100 people were scrambling to escape, according to the Hartford Courant. The Army of God allegedly sent letters to the press claiming responsibility, and the letters contained details about the materials used to make the bombs that were true.
So they're bombing gay bars also?
Yeah.
It's not just about abortion.
No.
Jesus Christ.
And then also the Olympics.
Yeah, what is that? What is that?
So Rudolph was on the run. He was placed on the FBI the 10 most wanted list. He was finally arrested in 2003. And this is my favorite part. He pled guilty to avoid the death penalty. Right? I have no problem killing people. And, you're going to die for the cause. You're in the army of God, but you're not really ready to die for the cause, right?
Wow. Well, he can become a martyr now. He can sit there and fucking cry from prison about how he's a prisoner for Christ.
So this is a little more recent one. Robert Louis Steer, Colorado Clinic. In 2015, a gunman entered a Colorado Planned Parenthood and opened fire.
Oh my God.
With an assault rifle.
Oh.
Because they're so fucking pro-life that they're just going to kill all sorts of innocent people, right? Living and breathing people. 3 people died. Jennifer Markovsky, 35.
Wow.
Kiar Marcel Stewart, 39. And Officer Garrett Swasey, 44.
Jesus.
9 folks were injured. So he held the clinic hostage for 5 hours. Those people were in that clinic with him for 5 hours. Can you imagine the terror? I don't even know how you get over witnessing the deaths of these people, seeing injured people around you, afraid that you're probably going to die next. So following the attack, Deere allegedly said, quote, "No more baby parts." Because recall, back in 2015, there was that Planned Parenthood video.
That stupid fucking video that was cut together.
That was cut together about fetus parts being used in medical research. But the way they spun it was that they were illegally selling baby parts, and it was trending in all these right-wing outlets.
Yeah.
Online, everywhere.
Yeah.
So there has to be some culpability here.
That's what I'm saying. What about the guy who made the video?
Yeah,
what about
the guy who made the video, the people who are sharing the video, the social media sites that are allowing the videos to go up.
I fucking put a video, retweeted a video this morning of these fucking Proud Boys. I don't remember where it was, but these Proud Boys went to this fucking restaurant yesterday where they were advertising they were going to have an all-ages drag show. Okay, so appropriate for all ages. People can bring their families. It's a restaurant, a family fucking restaurant. And these fucking Proud Boys showed up, and the police were called, and the police are trying to get them away from the fucking door, and they opened the door, and somebody inside the restaurant sprayed them with fucking pepper spray.
Good.
To keep, and they're they're scrambling, and the police start have to move away because they don't want to get sprayed. But in the video, they're screaming after spray. They're you fucking groomers. They're screaming groomers and pedophiles at the people in the fucking restaurant. That's the kind of shit. The fucking baby, the baby parts.
It's like that. What was that? That Pizzagate.
Yeah,
where
the
same thing. They show up and they're gonna kill people based on a make believe
conspiracy
bullshit. Clear your fucking mind. Go meditate. Go figure it out. But stop believing bullshit.
It's, by the way, January 6th. That whole thing from the fucking top. From the top of the country, the president of the United States is a gullible fucking weird. Like, it started there, and when he just let everybody else believe it. I literally think he knows. I don't think he really believes he lost. Like, my friend Simon thinks that he knows he lost and doesn't give a fuck, and he's gonna influence everybody. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he really fucking believes it. I think he really believes it. So anybody who's capable of being duped does this.
Go
fucking
read some
shit.
books. Go exercise your brain muscle. Read. Get off your phones and go read something. Like, you get your head out of your ass, out of the clouds, out of wherever.
But just this need for this
it's ridiculous.
The reaction is violence, and that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Unless somebody's already told you, like, this is the reaction you should have, is you should want to kill as well. Like, it doesn't make sense. What did those Proud Boys think they were going to do at the drag show? Like, what were you going to do? Yell at people and try to stop the show? I mean, get the fuck out of here. So what are they doing? Like, looking at events in the area and looking for these fucking drag shows? Like, is that what's fucking happening now? Like, what is it? How did they know what was there? How did they know what was going to happen?
Yeah, they're
you know
following.
What I mean? They're looking. They're
following. And it's
and I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to reach out to someone to try to get them on the podcast as anonymous. But in Orange County in Florida, they've already told teachers to take down the LGBTQ stuff on their walls. Rainbows or anything pro-LGBTQ has been asked to be removed because of Don't Say Gay. It's already started.
So, and even like stickers like saying like this is a safe space.
Yeah, can't have it.
Can't have it. But I've heard a couple of different things, so I would like to talk to someone because from what I heard is that it's almost like a preemptive, that they are very worried about parents going after those teachers, you know, like,
of course,
oh, you gave my kid, and like, and then those teachers like losing their jobs, like, well, and I saw, and some of, fight that, and some of the ridiculous comment. I read one, article, and then it's like, people put their stupid comments below, and one of them was like, I don't remember seeing pictures of my teacher's family when I was in school, like anyone, like, so who cares that the pictures are down because my teachers are. I have pictures of my boys are on my desk, and my students are like, oh, are those your boys? Yes. Oh, this one looks like you. Oh, this one, look at him. Like, what? Like, the students want to know their teacher. Like, you cannot build relationships like with your students. We cannot just be robots. They're like, what did you do this weekend? What did that? Like, they want, like, do they want to know about you? Yes. Do they want to distract you from like learning grammar? Sure. I get it. I understand that.
No, Tina, they want to know.
No.
Stop it.
Listen, I know these kids. But like they know, like it's just, like you're there every day. You see them sometimes more than they see their own family.
My daughter went to private schools her entire life, Catholic schools. When she went to public middle school for the first time in 6th grade, and she saw a wall, like what is it called? Corkboard, right?
Bulletin
board. And it was all about welcome, and everyone's welcome, and they had pictures of all the kids together. They had rainbow flags. They had, but it wasn't just pride, but it was included in this, like, everyone here is welcome. She came home that day and was like, you have no idea how fucking included I felt in like this idea of this is okay to talk about, because in a Catholic school it's never brought up or mentioned.
Yeah.
And so the fact that this was like so like right there where she was like, boom, it does make you feel safe. It does make you feel like this is a place where everyone is welcome. And then guess what happens to you as a kid? You go, oh, everybody should be included, right? Like it's a sign of like, this is okay. And I cannot believe that that's going to go away.
It can't. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
It's not
cool. And here we are. I said to Tina, we got to make sure we keep the camera going because we want to make sure. And here I always take off. I'm sorry. I go in another hour.
No, it's fine. We're plugged in.
All right. Oh, yeah. We're professionals now.
We're officially professionals. So this guy ended up being indicted. He was declared incompetent to stand trial.
Oh, yeah, I'm
sure.
So
he's been in a mental hospital since 2015 in Colorado with 68 counts waiting for him.
Holy shit.
Just this year in March, he was deemed competent. So what a judge basically said, like, he's going to have to be involuntarily medicated. Like, you have to be forced to take your medication, and then you're going to stand trial, because then you're going to be competent to stand trial, is essentially like what they're trying to do.
They all should have an evaluation done.
Luke Wiersman, he was arrested in 2018 for sending threatening messages to Chicago abortion clinics. In one of the messages to a clinic, according to ABC7, Wiersma wrote, quote, "You will all fucking pay for what you do. If not by my hand, it will be by somebody else's. I want you to burn. I want you all to die. I will kill to stop these atrocities. I will blow you up if I have to. Burn the clinic down. I will do whatever is necessary. I swear to God I will. After that, you are in God's hands, and he will do his thing." He was sentenced to 18 months for the threats because he didn't actually.
Well, swearing to God is abomination, so.
Oh my God, yes.
You're going to hell, brah.
And it's like, you're in the hands of God. He will do his thing. Like, what do you know? I don't, it's so, like, but it's indoctrination. Yeah. Like they have been fed to know what God wants from people. It's crazy.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Dude, by the way, let these people know the Stranger Things just came out yesterday. Like, there's so many fun things you could be doing right now. Please. I don't know. Maybe go watch a show.
Go for a walk.
Hey, I just saw that Elvis movie last night. Excellent. Like, go to the movies. Have something. Go have some fun. Have some popcorn. Have a soda.
Yes.
Have a little sody. Like, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Calm the fuck down. Enjoy life. Enjoy life.
Go for a walk.
Yeah, the beach is beautiful this time of year. Yeah. Listen to the birds sing, motherfucker. Swim in the pool. Oh, now I'm just naming all the things I like to do.
I know. I'm like,
float, bitch. Float.
Yeah, plant a garden. I did that, and it's been wonderful.
There
it's been
you
wonderful.
Go. Yeah, get your hands in the dirt. And God's earth.
Yes, God's earth. Butterflies. You see the whole cycle of life. I saw the little eggs. My son. We looked at the little eggs, and then there were the caterpillars, and then now we have 4.
Oh, nice.
We cannot find. We had a ton. I mean, clearly, like, a lot of them have been eaten. The poor little caterpillars, but. We found 4 of the chrysalises, so
excellent.
We're excited. Go do something like that. If you want to go see life and love and whatever.
Build a butterfly garden and calm the fuck down. Take your medication and build a butterfly garden.
Yes.
That's my advice.
All right, so the last guy I want to talk about is Robert Weiler. In 2006, he attempted to bomb an abortion clinic in Greenbelt, Maryland. So not only did he plead guilty, but he also turned himself in, and as part of his deal, he was sentenced to 5 years. And the attorney for Maryland, Rod Rosenstein, stated, quote, and I just wanted to put this because this is important, quote, "We must continue to act quickly against anyone who plots to murder doctors or bomb abortion clinics. Mr. Weiler's misguided plan could have resulted in deaths or serious injuries if it were not for the actions of ATF, the Maryland State Police, and the Prince George's County Police." Like, there has to be a really strong effort to stop these people. One thing I found, and some points of interest, and I just have a couple, was there was an article I found that discussed whether Trump helped refuel the Army of God with his extremism. In 2017, Open Democracy spoke to then leader of the Army of God, Reverend Donald Spitz. He essentially said that Trump allowed folks to stand up for family rights, and he also said, quote, "This group is growing, and the election of Donald Trump has helped. Because before, we were being crushed so much that nobody wanted to say anything. But now it's okay to say these things." There you have it. There you have it.
But I also love family rights. But the family rights that you're talking about, there could be a family that's 2 dads or 2 moms. That's not the family you're fighting for. Right? You're fighting for a man and a woman. It's your idea of a family.
Like,
stop acting like you actually give a fuck about family rights. You don't give a fuck about families. It's all, by the way, just like everything else we talk about on this podcast, politicians, it's ego driven.
Right.
That's what this is about. This is about them. This is about how can I get to heaven fast enough? I'm going to murder fucking people. Like,
it's so
this is
stupid.
about them and their agenda and being powerful and being Donald Trump's so great.
What about the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not kill. Like,
oh, please. You're misinterpreting that, Tina.
I know.
You're misinterpreting it.
Oh my God!
You missed the postscript. It had a little asterisk on it. At the bottom it said, "Unless it's abortion doctors, then murder away."
Yeah,
you fucking dicks.
So stupid.
My God.
And he even bragged, quote, "We were the very first ones to go out to abortion clinics with big signs and pictures calling out to people." I mean,
that's what I mean. See, it's
what
about
an
him.
understatement considering the violence they promote. It's so stupid.
It's fucked up. By the way, I was thinking about abortion rallies. And in 2017, I was trapped in a right to life protest in Washington, D.C. It was millions of people and I wanted to die. Like I got trapped. I couldn't get out of it. Because I was in the House of Representatives with my kids on a tour.
Oh, no.
And my ex-husband's like, I'm going to go check out the scene. And was like in the fucking march. And couldn't find him, and I had to cover my children's eyes because the size of these fucking posters that they were carrying, like life-size posters, like a huge 8-foot like fucking banners of aborted fetuses, like blood everywhere. And I thought to myself, that's such horrific imagery. But guess what? We're gonna have to go that low now. We're gonna have to do that and have pictures of women who have bled out on their floor, and
they don't care.
Put that in your face.
They don't care.
That's what the imagery we're now gonna have is start showing these women who have committed suicide or have bled out from trying to give themselves an abortion. We gotta go back to that. We gotta go back to the horror show of this to get it changed. Fuck them.
So. Really, the reason I did this today is I really wanted to highlight the level of violence that happened when Roe was passed and how much worse it may be for abortion providers or clinics now in this post-Roe world, because they're going to feel more emboldened, right? They're going to feel more justified in their convictions. These are dangerous people. And I just wanted to give some statistics, and I want to note that this is based on what was reported. Right? It does not include the everyday threats and harassments that clinics and doctors face every single day. And these statistics I got from, it's from, the source information it's from Ms. Magazine, and it's from like a national abortion, I forget what the organization is called, so I apologize, but you'll see it in the notes. But these are from 1977 to 2020. All right, so this is like, I guess, it's a long time. So 11 murders, and this is to people, 11 murders, 956 threats of harm or death, 624 stalking incidents, and 4 kidnappings. Crimes at clinics included 42 bombings, 194 arsons, 104 attempted bombings or arsons, and 667 bomb threats. I mean,
it's a lot, but it doesn't seem like as much as I would think.
That's why it says that there's like
there could be more that aren't reported.
Because there's people who are probably there dealing with people screaming, "I'll kill you! I'll kill you! I'll kill you!" outside. And like they're not reporting that, right? Right. This is just what's been reported.
Jesus.
And again, why would anyone want to work anywhere and do this work? So according, I was like, well, what can we do? According to Reveal News, states are taking action. So for example, New York will dedicate $10 million towards protecting abortion care providers and another $25 million to expand abortion access.
Dang.
Maine passed a law for an 8-foot medical safety zone at clinic entrances that they can't get within a certain amount of feet. And even cities in red states are trying to pass 10-foot safety zones for healthcare facilities, including abortion clinics. But it's states like Florida and some of these other states that have a lack of protection. So one thing that we could do is like call our lawmakers, and say like these are things that we want in place in our state, in our cities, to make sure that these providers are protected. And that's all.
I love it.
So,
Thank you, Tina, for covering that.
It was really fucking depressing.
Yeah.
Like, I just hate everything. But, all right. We're going to hop off and hop back on because we have another one to record.
So much fun.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess that's it.
Yes. You'll see us looking exactly the same in next week's episode.
What else is new? It's fine. We'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
A-okay.
All right. Oh, also I wanted to say, like, if something happens in the next 2 weeks and we don't talk about it, please know that because we're not here.
Yes.
Like, I hate that every time we do this, we come back and we're like, here's all the things that's happened in 2 weeks.
I know, but you know, honestly, like when I was thinking about like the ketchup and all the stuff, like it feels like it was a month ago.
I know, it was a couple days ago.
It just came out recently, but it's like, there's so much all of the time. And I remember feeling this way from 2016 onward.
Yeah. Oh,
you know, like, and it's just like, it was never ending. And I thought, God, okay, with the election of Biden, like maybe it'll end, and it doesn't end. Like I feel like we are all just in this constant, or those of us who are paying attention are in a constant state of worry.
Yeah.
And then there are people just living their lives. I'm like, how do you live your life?
Oh God, it must be so nice.
Without giving a shit.
That's gonna be me soon. I'm doing that. I'm gonna unplug, honey. I'm gonna unplug.
Oh my god.
From politics.
Woo!
I
We
can't
have
wait.
P.S. We have a political podcast.
Oh, fuck.
You'll just plug in once a week. Plug in once a week.
Damn it. All right, I love you. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.